Hey guys, welcome to University of Fashion Drafting. My name is Umo, and so I created this style for a client but with a few alterations. She wanted the corset area as well as the long sleeves of this dress. However, she wanted the yoke area of this other dress. It was so much fun making this dress and I loved that I filmed the process. This is the part 2 of this video, guys, so you need to follow the link in the description box to watch the first part of this process. Okay, so this is me joining my lining area. I'm joining the cup area to the main body of the corset. As you can see, guys, if while you're joining you notice that one side is longer than the other, place the side that is longer on directly on the machine, because the side that is on the machine tends to run, the fabric that is on the machine tends to run faster than the one on top. I hope you really understand what I am trying to say. So I'm going ahead to do the same for the other side, and after doing this I would go ahead and iron everything so it's nice and smooth, guys. So guys, apologies for the poor lighting. It was because I think this was almost midnight and I was just hurrying to get done, so I couldn't start worrying about fixing my ring light properly or what. So guys, just bear with me. I'll be doing a lot more of this sorts of sew with me videos, so please subscribe to this channel to watch more of this sorts of videos. Okay, so this is me going ahead to work on the cup area of my corset. I want to fix the casing for the underwire of my corset, guys. The underwire is that iron thing that is at the bottom part of the cup area of your corset, guys. So I'm using regular red bias to create the casing for my underwire. And so I am sewing the bias to the seam allowance of my cup, guys. I hope you understand what I am doing here. So I'm sewing it, first sew it to the lining, can you see that, to the seam allowance, and then go ahead to top stitch to create that casing for the underwire. So before you start top stitching, ensure that everything in front is nice and smooth so that there will be no creases and everything will just be neat and smooth in front. So just go ahead and top stitch. Take your time in doing this so that it wouldn't the sewing in front wouldn't be rough and all. So you need to take your time and ensure that the sewing allowance is equal. So after doing this, I'm going to go ahead and fix my underwire. And guys, see the underwire, this is what I am talking about. This thing makes all the difference to your corset, guys. Like, it is so important. It makes the cup area cup very well, so your corset doesn't appear flat. So the cup area of your corset doesn't appear flat, guys. So guys, can you see, like, look at how smooth and cupped my cup area is. Like, guys, who else is feeling this, please? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and join the skirt part of my dress to the corset area. So what I did was I notched the center point of my skirt area and I notched the center point of my corset area, and I'm sewing from the midpoint, guys, because my corset area is not as long as my skirt area, seeing as I created space for the lace area, the area that is going to be laced up. So it's much shorter than the skirt area, so I have to do it from the middle to ensure that on both sides everything is equal, nice and smooth. So I'm sewing from the midpoint of the other side, as you can see, guys. And so I'll just sew to the end of my corset. Guys, ignore all these threads, like we were in a serious hurry. So whilst I was ironing, I cut out all the threads and everything. Okay, so this is me fixing the facing for my lace, the area that's going to have the lace. So I had created the loops and sewn on the loops before I sewed this facing to it, guys. The facing has a bit of boning too, I must mention. So see how nice and smooth it is. And then I am going to go ahead and just sew my lining to my main dress. So guys, what I did was I placed the right side of the lining with the right side of the lace part of this dress, and I am sewing. So it's just right sides together, guys. So after sewing the right sides together, I'll just go ahead and just turn it and then iron everything out. While you are sewing, ensure that everything is aligning properly, both the lining and the lace part of the dress, so that everything is just nice and smooth, guys. Okay, so I'm closing up. I'm also sewing the lace top area, the area that's going to have the lace. So I'm closing that up. I'm going to do the same for the other side too, guys, as you can see. If you have questions as regards any of the processes, if any of the process is not clear to you guys, drop your questions in the comment section and I would ensure that I respond to each question as soon as I can. Okay, so this is me. I've turned it out and I'm going to go ahead and iron everything out. So this is how, can you see how nice and smooth everything is? So I'm just going to go ahead and really press it with steam iron so that everything is flat and all. Okay, so having ironed it, I want to fix my zip. And remember guys, the zip starts from the waist. That is, starts from the skirt, the beginning of the skirt area. There's no zip at the upper part because I'm going to be using lacing. So what I'm doing is I'm just trying to impute my measurements and mark it with chalk. Okay, so the client's waist is I think it's 33 inches, and what I did here was I folded the whole dress into two and I'm measuring half of 33 inches, which is 16.5 inches from the center front, as you can see, guys. And then I'm going to do the same at the hip area, guys. And note that because this is a corset, in fact many of the times because it's a corset, for the waist area, once the zip starts at the waist, what I do is I even reduce that waist circumference measurement by 1 inch. So sometimes I would reduce by 1 inch, and instead of using 33 inches I'll use 32 inches, and so what I'll be marking will be 16 inches, which is 32 divided by 2. But because this client is around for fittings, I have that luxury of being able to make the adjustments when she wears it, so I'm not really bothered about that. But if I was going to, if it was an outfit I was going to be delivering, I would have just used the 32 inches that I would normally use. Okay, so after imputing the measurements, I went ahead to, I have joined the sleeve to the neckline area of my mesh fabric. I tried to film this process, but a call came through and I lost the footage. So guys, I think there'll be another video, obviously, because there's another style that a client has requested for that is similar to this. So please subscribe to this channel to watch it. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm trying to mark, I notched the midpoint, that is the side seam on my mesh, and I'm aligning that to the side seam of my corset. Can you see that, guys? The lighting was poor at this point and that's why the footage is not clear, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to align the side seam. Then again, I thought I should do it from the edge of, that is the loop area, but I think I changed my mind too. So I'm just trying to find out which area, what would be most convenient for me to do, the best way for me to join the mesh to my corset, guys. So this is my center front. I'm trying to see if it's better for me to do it for my center front, and I think that's what I eventually did. I eventually did it from the center front. So I just put the net under and I just sewed on top. Remember guys, there was no allowance on this mesh, and I'm not really bothered about this, but I'll just use at least the sewing allowance I'm going to use for this will be about 0.5 inches, which is really fine because when the clients wore it, the fit was completely perfect. So this is me trying to figure out the best place to start. I started a few inches from my center front because that's how the design was, and as you can see, I'm just going ahead to sew directly on top. I'm sewing on top of the lining area of my whole dress. So as I mentioned earlier, if you have any questions as regards this process, guys, drop your questions in the comment section and I will try as much as possible to respond as quickly as I can. So this is me still trying to figure out the best way to sew this, guys. The struggle is real because the fabric was really heavy, the dress was already heavy at this point and all that, so, and it was really bulky. You can see the struggle to even get it under the feed dog. Okay, so this is me sewing on top. I had to ensure that I placed everything well because you know it's mesh fabric and you don't have the luxury of being able to loosen and loosen and loosen. So as much as possible, ensure that you do the right thing. You get it right the first time to avoid loosening and then the tearing of the mesh fabric and all that stress of having to recut and all. Okay, so this is me, and notice, see how neat the inside of the corset is, guys. Can you see what I did? Really neat, guys. I really enjoyed filming this. I actually enjoyed making this dress, guys. So for more videos like this, for more opportunities to watch me watch my work process, guys, subscribe to this channel because I'll be doing a lot more of this sorts of videos. Hopefully next time I'm able to place my lights and cameras and everything the right way so that I can get a clearer footage, guys. So after doing this, I think I went ahead to create my rope, the rope for the lace stop area. What I did to create that rope was I just cut I didn't cut it on bias. However, I folded and ironed it the way bias should be folded and ironed, guys, so that I don't have the rope stretching when the client tries to lace up the corset. So this is what it looked like. That was the sleeve, and then that was the cup area, guys. See how neat and cupped my corset area is. Okay, so this is it, and here I'm trying to close up the skirt part, fix the lining for the skirt part. So I used ABBA lining for the lining of the skirt part, and what I did was I just placed right sides together, so right side of the lining against the right side of the dress, and then I'm just going to turn so that I have a really neat finishing, guys. I tried to film the fitting process when the clients came to fit the dress. However, I think somehow I mistakenly deleted the video. So what I'm going to do is when the client sends a picture, that's if she sends, when she sends a picture, I will try to use it as the thumbnail, so at least you can see the comparison between what I made and what the client originally asked for. However, I can tell you that she was really satisfied with the fit as well as the design and all. Okay, so this is me sewing the rope for the laced up parts for the back of the corset. and it's just a straight rope. I didn't cut it on bias. What I did was I just ironed it well, the way bias is ironed. However, I didn't cut it on bias, guys. So this is the footage of this. Is just a very unclear footage, guys. I'm so sorry for this. A clear footage of the outcome. I tried to film it, but it was really poor, guys. So I don't know if you can see this. This is the corset area, and then this is the mesh fabric with the net, guys. But when she sends in a picture, anyways, I'll try to upload that and use that as the thumbnail. So thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel, as I'll be uploading more videos. Bye.